And we're live. Okay. Hey there, gals and guys. Vetamore here, back at it again with, well, something new, and that is the land sale with Andrew today, the head of Illuvium marketing, who's going to be telling us everything that we need to know to get ready for the land sale, and all the questions that we might possibly have are going to be answered today. So, you know,
hit me with
how's
it, baby.
it going,
I'm
Andrew?
ready. Landy, McLandy land. Every minute of the day, I pick up my phone, I get on my computer, I look everywhere I look. It's Illuvium Land right now. It's in my dreams. My kids are telling me about Illuvium Land. How's the land? My 4-year-old asked me. So let's talk more about it. Let's go. I mean, the sale is imminent. This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, so the sale's June the 2nd, 1 p.m. UTC. But just before we get into all of that, how are you feeling, Andrew? And how much sleep have you been getting in the lead up to land sale?
Yeah, so I mean, both me and the marketing team, I'll speak to our team, we've been waking up at 6 a.m. every day, taking meetings till 12 p.m., 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. each night. It's been an insane nights, weekends, every hour of the day effort to not only complete the land sale campaign as we originally planned it, we're doing even more on top. We made more videos, triple the interviews, more PR. We did more pitches, more articles, more emails, more advertising. Every day we're adding more and more on top, just pushing ourselves to our physical and mental limitations to just market land as hard as we possibly can, because it's worth it. It really is. Like, so this is a first in so many ways for Illuvium right now. The first truly NFTs that we're selling, the first revenue distribution opportunity, and the first big marketing campaign for Illuvium as well. So why not go hard? You can sleep when you're dead, right, amigo? So if I look tired, if I just drift off and like start saying random nonsense, it's just because we are going hard.
Awesome. So to kick things off, I'm going to ask you something that you've probably said a million times, but could you sort of break down how someone watching this can participate in the land sale and everything that just they're going to need to know in order to take part?
That is a really, really big question. And so let me go ahead and detail some of this for you. So the Illuvium land sale is happening from June 2nd through June 5th. If you didn't already know, 20,000 plots of land in our AAA gaming universe will be available for purchase in the sale. That land is valuable and interesting for a few different reasons. Valuable because it can produce fuel that you can sell on our Illuvidex for actual revenue. Also, you can scan and get blueprint NFTs that you can either sell, or you can use those NFTs to generate more NFTs that are worth revenue potentially. The interesting part is Illuvium Land has its own game, Illuvium 0, that you can play the land on. So a lot of other projects out there will just sell you an NFT or sell you some land, and then maybe down the road they'll do something with it. We took the complete opposite approach, and we built everything first for land, a video game where you can play a town builder game to play Land Illuvium 0, all the utility, all the functionality, everything we built first, then we'll sell you the land. So it's the complete opposite approach that you see in virtually every other crypto gaming and metaverse project out there. And this land is broken out into multiple tiers. So a lot of people, I've actually received more comments than I thought on like, isn't there a free-to-play option? I want to be clear, there is actually. There's a free-to-play land. Anybody can play the mobile game, Illuvium 0, with our tier 0 land. You just won't get any money out of it. The whole idea, guys, of, playing a video game and getting money for free is a fake idea that doesn't work. And at Illuvium, we can't really like support that on a high level, because then we'll just print, the Illuvium economy money, like the CDC, like the money printer in real life, down to 0 if we do that. So you can play our games for free, you can enjoy the experience for free, but you can't necessarily get tons of economic value out of land or any other experience in Illuvium for free. for those that are willing to pay for land, tier 1 through 5, there's basically an increasing amount of rarity, element sites, fuel sites, and essentially benefit you can get from land depending on which tier you select. And the prices increase accordingly, and then you can make your own financial decisions on which one makes the most sense for you. And what's really cool is we just made the Illuvidex live. So if you go to the official Illuvidex, don't go to some scammer site that you see linked in the comments below or whatever. Go
Official link is in this description, by the way, guys.
Perfect. Illuvidex.illuvium.io, not illuvidex.illuvirium.io. Make sure you're going to the real one, and then you can actually shop for land. You can look through all 7 regions. You can see all the tiers that are there. You can even favorite the one that you have your eye on. I got my eye on this beautiful little tier 1 plot. Anyway, it's all there for you to shop and to do your own research to make your own financial decisions. And also what's really cool is we are allowing folks that are participating in the land sale to set up everything on the wallet side and the integration side now before the land sale. So get your MetaMask loaded with ETH or SILV2 to buy the land. Connect it with Immutable X IMX wallet. You can do all of this right now on the Illuvidex. I've got a whole tutorial video and article out telling you how to do that. And once that integration happens on IMX, you're ready to purchase and your land will be minted on IMX gas free, baby. So that's the land sale in a nutshell for those of you that haven't really looked into it. And I'm happy to dive into any of the individual details. But it's land that already has utility, already has value, and is already built, that is deeply connected in the Illuvium universe and will be relevant for all of our games, and all of our experiences we create in the future will all be deeply connected with land and the fuel that land generates. And that's really exciting.
Yeah, because the fuel that land generates will basically be the in-game currency for this Illuvium game that's coming out, the main game, as well as any future games. Another point that you said is that obviously you can use SILV and ETH, but then like the price is decreasing over time. If you guys are super curious on exactly like how steep that curve is and all of that, I have filmed a video with Daraji like a few days back, maybe a week ago, where we cover his calculator on just how to like analyze that so that you can see how much is my SILV2 or ETH worth and how much do I need for different like tiers of land at different stages, so that you can just sort of look into that and get ready. One question that I have seen somewhat often is that obviously this land sale was taking place on the Ethereum network, but that's just buying the land. Once you've bought the plot of land, actually minting it takes place on the IMX network. So how is that going to work? And do I need an IMX wallet? How is all that done?
So much crypto jargon, so little time.
Yeah.
So we are supporting MetaMask. So make sure you have your MetaMask set up. And MetaMask exists on Ethereum layer 1. And so that's where you're going to be holding your tokens that you'll potentially be using to buy land in this land sale. The 2 types of tokens, as mentioned earlier, are ETH and SILV2. Those need to be in your MetaMask wallet on layer 1 Ethereum network, period, for you to be able to purchase land. That's where it's happening. The purchasing of land, Ethereum layer 1, MetaMask wallet, ETH or SILV2. That's the buying the land part. The minting the land part is separate. And the way that you do that is you connect that MetaMask wallet we just talked about a moment ago on layer 1 with your layer 2 wallet, IMX, otherwise known as Immutable X. And so you can make that connection between layer 1 and layer 2 on the Illuvidex right now by linking your MetaMask wallet with your IMX wallet. I've got a full-blown tutorial video on all Illuvium socials now and an article that shows precisely how to do that. But if you buy a piece of land and you want to mint it, you had better make that integration happen between your MetaMask and IMX in order for that to happen. And the reason why we're doing this, there's a lot of reasons, but the simple reason is when you purchase land on the Ethereum network, everybody's heard of ETH gas fees. They are savage. They are disgusting. And so people will have to pay gas fees when they buy. But we put the minting on the IMX network, on the IMX layer 2, so there would be no gas fees when people mint. So they don't have to pay double gas fees whenever they're looking to mint that land NFT and they're looking to hold it in their IMX wallet. That, and I won't go into too much detail on IMX unless you want me to, but IMX is, in my opinion, the most credible, the most scalable layer 2 solution in gaming. They've already proven with Gods Unchained, for example, that has literally the most NFTs of any game on Ethereum in the entire world. They have 24 million gaming NFTs they've made with Gods Unchained. Immutable X has proven that it's the best, most scalable network to have massive amounts of NFTs minted in a gaming ecosystem quickly, efficiently, and gaslessly, so that you don't have to constantly be approving giant gas fees when you're trying to play a video game and collecting items and what have you. And so that's the basic gist here. MetaMask wallet for the purchase, and then minting on the Immutable X IMX wallet. All that stuff step by step is on the Illuvium Medium, etc. But what I recommend is doing your research, and then if you know you're participating in this land sale, go do the connection now. I actually just did it personally 2 hours ago on my crypto computer. I have a separate computer for that. And I did all the connections. I clicked all the buttons. I made sure it had my wallet connected up there with a little IMX check button. So I'm ready to buy my little teeny piece of tier 1 land as soon as this land sale drops.
And if your wallet isn't connected to IMX, is that you therefore cannot buy a land, or there might be an issue there?
Yeah, so to my knowledge, you will be able to purchase land even if you don't connect to IMX right now, but down the road, you will need to connect to IMX to mint that land. I do not recommend waiting till after the land sale to connect to IMX, because then you'll have to maybe remember some follow-up steps and you'll have to be paying attention, and why risk it? What if you get ill or something? What if, whatever happens in your life and you don't take the steps down the road that are necessary, or you forget about it or whatever? Why? So if you know you're participating in a land sale, it's literally like a minute maybe to press the buttons to integrate with IMX. So the purchasing can still happen, to my knowledge, without that integration though. I believe so. We do have some contingencies for some percentage of people that don't do that integration. I think we have a solution there to follow up with them afterwards, but we don't want to have to do that. We want everybody to be smart, to do their own research, and to do that integration today. It's kind of like not integrating with IMX is like going to the grocery store, picking out all your groceries, paying for it at the register, and then not having any bags or a cart to take it out of the grocery store. Like, what are you even doing, man? How are you gonna go home with those groceries? You need to have some way to mint that NFT so you can take it home so that you can put it in your wallet. So just do that work today and get that done, do your research, and then it'll be a piece of cake at that point.
And if anyone is unclear on how to do that, you said you have a video on the Illuvium YouTube channel?
Man, we got a video on Illuvium everything, with me slowly and methodically boring you to death with the details of that. And then we also have an in-depth article on the Illuvium Medium that goes over all the details with pictures, with step-by-step, the whole nine. So all of that is available in image format, in written format, and in video format. You can even hit the play button to hear the audio version on the article. So if you have any senses at all, hearing, sight, touch, smell, or taste, you should be able to understand how to connect MetaMask to IMX.
Awesome. So head straight over to the Illuvium YouTube channel. If you guys aren't sure how to do that, I'm definitely going to do that immediately after this video. So another thing that has recently been mentioned has been land rentals, that down the road there's going to be potentially an integration within Illuvium where you can just let somebody else play on your plot of land while you still technically own it, and you can select like the exact distribution, so that, for example, a scholar can work on your land and they receive, like, let's say 50% or 55% of the fuel that is earned through that. How is that going to be happening, and how soon is that coming?
Yeah, so the timeline on when the rentals are going to be in place, I don't have a timeline right now. So that is something where we've kind of made a public, or Kieran made a public promise, if you will, that this is a feature we are working on. And the idea is to let people manage their plots of land, lease them out, and then have like a time-based fee or profit share system. And we want users to be able to have as much flexibility as possible on how they share their land and how the profit sharing will work, and try to add as many parameters in there as possible to let the market decide how it wants to handle its own land. And maybe to let the market decide what that profit sharing is, what the percentages are, what the time frame is, etc. We are light on details on this right now because this is, to my knowledge, deep in development. And so I don't want to promise features or timeline on when that'll be available, have people count on it, and then have it not be ready, right? But this is obviously something that is of particular interest to guilds, to VCs, or folks that are maybe like building like mega cities with Illuvium Land that have multiple plots of land, or just your regular everyday average whale that is just buying land and wants to be able to participate in the earning portion of that land, but doesn't have the time to do it. Like, there's a lot of whales out there that maybe are executives somewhere, and maybe they're planning on dropping, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of land, and they're planning on buying that. Do you think they're really going to sit there while they're at their desk and sit there and swipe between like 16 pieces of tier 1 land and click all the buttons and make sure they're optimizing element storage and harvesting all the fuel and scanning for alluvials? No. So we want to give everyone, including those people, the opportunity to get yield out of their land, so the land is not just sitting in your wallet collecting dust and is underutilized. We didn't make a video game for land, Illuvium 0, for people not to play it. We didn't add in all these features like being able to optimize elements and fuel and having landmarks, and there are some other ones actually we're going to be talking about very soon, features, and we aren't even planning ongoing development for this as well, to just have people sit on these NFTs and hope number go up. That is the most boring thing possible. And so land rental, as boring as it might sound, or maybe it doesn't apply to you if you're listening to this right now, it's really important to me so that this land is actually used. It is utilized. It is being used to its fullest potential, and it has the most impact possible for players in the Illuvium economy overall. That's really important. We're building games, we're building experiences, we're building technology for people to actually use, not to sit in a wallet and maybe, have somebody swing trade it at some point. That's super boring. People can go degen on anything. We want people to fall in love with Illuvium's IP, fall in love with things like land, and actually be able to use them. That's the idea behind land rentals.
Awesome. And then you actually touched on some of my next question, which is the mega cities. When, or not necessarily when, can we expect to see them, but also how are they going to work? Like, can people expect a 2x2 plot to also be a smaller mega city? Can a 3x3, and how big can they get? What about like a 10x10? And obviously some mega cities might be more powerful than others, as some might have like more higher tiers within them and some might have less. Like, how is all that going to be working?
Well, as you are well aware, all of that needs to be voted on and approved by the council. And so everything I'm saying in this interview is completely subject to change. So let me tell you what we have planned and what we're expecting for features here. And the thing is, community watching right now, council members listening right now, you can make suggestions on how you would like this to look or evolve over time. So for example, you asked, is there an opportunity for a 10x10 or something? So right now, the idea is to merge adjacent plots of land into squares, which would be like 2x2 or 3x3. But if the community's yelling, hey, we want 10x10s, just an example, instead of a mega city, it's an ultra-tropolis city or whatever, then you can vote for that. You can propose that, and then perhaps that could be pushed through, and that could be a feature we could add in the future. So the point of saying that is, whatever we do with mega cities next, 2x2, 3x3, whatever size, you can tell us what size you want and what extra utility you want. Players control these kind of new features. The council, the DAO, the governance process controls the details of how features like this are rolled out, because these features are ultimately for your benefit and for your interest in land. So that's the best answer I can give there. So if y'all want 10x10s, scream loudly in governance. Tell your representative, if you will, that you want that and get it voted through. And then guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna have to make a freaking 10x10 for you because you told us to. Like, that's how it works. So that's my best answer for that. Is like, I want everybody to remember, like, I'm not in control. Kieran's not in control. Aaron's not in control of all this. You're in control. Just want to make that clear with things like mega cities, because mega cities are going to be of interest to any organized body that's participating in the Illuvium universe. Guilds, VCs, maybe ad hoc groups of friends that are just playing Illuvium. We're like, yo, let's buy some land together. Whatever it is, your power of organization can influence things like mega cities. So the idea with mega cities as well is that you can move resources between different plots, and then your mega city would count as one plot. So that would allow you to further optimize your fuel output across the board. So if one of your plots is dry on insert element here, then you could move it from the tier 4 over to the tier 2 that's maybe weaker at that, or etc. with your mega city, and further optimize, adding deeper gameplay and mechanics to using land. It's not just your own little piece of land on a rectangle in front of you. Moving it between cities now matters. Think Sim City. You build like one big city in one big part of the map, then you have to build trains and airports and different infrastructure to connect to another city, etc. And in things like Sim City, right? The connections between the cities encourage further economic growth and are essential to reach end game in things like Sim City. It's a similar idea here with optimizing resources between your different plots. And then we have to figure out precisely what we're going to do in terms of the, let's call it production bonuses that come along with the mega city. And we'll have to make very strict parameters for those that everybody's aware of. So for example, if there happens to be a place on the Illuvidex where there's like, I don't know, a stacked bunch of T4s or T3s with bigger bonuses, we'll have to talk about, are all of the production benefits of all of those, gonna 100% stack? The plan right now, to my knowledge, is to have them 100% stack. But the reason why I bring that up is, what if there's a 10x10, a 20x20? How stupid does the stacking get at that point, right? And so these are all things that the council will need to vote on and that we'll need to make sure are fair and actually make sense from a gameplay standpoint. Just want to bring that up with everybody, okay? I'm just saying, things get ridiculous when you think of like taking an entire island of land, if you will, and like mega citying that whole thing and making a 10 trillion% bonus on whatever. Does that break stuff?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? So I'm bringing that up. I'm bringing that up because we can imagine, some really interesting things with mega cities, but of course we need to keep that within parameters that'll be fair. Just wanted to bring that up. And then the other idea is utility. So if you have an engineering lab or a fabricant, quantum fabricant or something like that, that unlocks other structures or features within land. Having that in one location in the mega city means you don't have to have it in another. And then you can do more upgrade, or you can get the benefit of having that utility building for the entire mega city. Similar to how if you played StarCraft, Warcraft, or any other RTS, if you build one blacksmith, let's say, or you build one upgrade building, it upgrades for all your expansions on the map. It's similar to that in terms of functionality. Those are just some of the expected features and some of the ideas we have right now. But like the reason why I mentioned it earlier and why this is so interesting, personally, I love the idea of mega cities. I think that idea actually takes Illuvium Land beyond being like this really ambitious sort of land NFT to a whole nother level adds a whole nother layer of gameplay and depth and fun and coordination to where when you tell somebody about these mega cities and they're actually real and working, no other metaverse land, no other crypto gaming land even comes close. And so developing further on that is really important. But in order to do so, we're going to need the community to push really hard and tell us that you're very interested in it, because there's going to be a lot of competing priorities with our development, right? What do you guys want in Illuvium 0? Do you want us to push harder on that game in mega cities? Do you want us to focus more on other experiences? We need to hear from you what you really want. So let your imagination run wild and push hard if you want to see more mega city features.
This is what I absolutely love about Illuvium, which is that if anyone figures out or finds out that there's a certain feature that's actually just broken, we can literally bring that up and have that changed. If there's a change we want to make, we literally can implement it. Someone's just suggested, what if like any adjacent plot could be like a little mega city, even if it doesn't necessarily make a square? And ideas like this are valuable, and everybody can literally put their ideas forward in, I think there's like game ideas, and there's also a marketing ideas chat in the Illuvium Discord. Definitely head to the Illuvium Discord and share your ideas, have conversations there, because this isn't just a game. This is a game that's actually made by its players and its community, which is freaking awesome.
One idea, I mean, honestly, I've talked with Aaron about it privately. This is not a promise on mega city features, but like, we've talked about Clash of Clans types of gameplay.
I was about to bring that up.
Where you can attack other people. You know, this is just an idea. Idea here, guys, not promise. Disclaimer, boop, boop, idea, not promise. But I want to open up your imaginations. Attacking, if you will, other people's land. Having your mega cities, you know, potentially battle other people's mega cities. What if there are consequences like in Clash of Clans where you could loot someone's fuel? You could loot someone's elements. What if you could steal their blueprint NFTs and vice versa? Think about, I'm just saying, think about the interactions that are possible with a game, with a land gameplay thing like this. And if you have great ideas, make those suggestions. Tower defense I see in chat. Look, I'm all about TDs. Just, these are all ideas, right? And that's what's so cool. Let your creativity run wild, and best idea wins. And if something really sticks, and if the community's saying, we have to have this feature, then guess what? Your wish is our command, and we'll do our best to make it in a timely manner.
And if for some reason somebody's watching right now and they're not in the Illuvium Discord, there is also a link to join in the description of this video. Definitely join there because the community is super awesome. And if any of your ideas, or you just have ideas for totally different games, don't happen yet, like, Illuvium is a game studio, and this is just some of our first games. There's gonna be many, many more to come in the further future. I am curious when it comes to this, like Clash of Clans potentially being able to like jump on other people, like how does that even work? And are people not just gonna get pissed off that they've just had essentially their money stolen by someone else that outmaneuvered them?
Maybe there isn't a money stealing part, right? I'm just throwing that out. Maybe it's only additive benefits. You know what I mean? Like, maybe there is no taking away, because obviously everything's on the blockchain and what have you. Or maybe there's a whole new mechanic on top of land, or a new currency, if you will, that can be gained from winning battles, let's say. And maybe that currency can be spent to maybe speed up building upgrades, or speed up fuel production, or you get the point. It doesn't have to be a takeaway mechanic. It can be an additive mechanic, right? So the takeaway thing, maybe that's a terrible idea.
It might be too cruel. It might be too cruel,
right? But the point of me bringing up all this isn't to say that's the idea that makes sense. It's to say, let your imagination run wild, and we are too. We really want to make all Illuvium games so much better than anything out there that's in the market. And the best way to do that is to continually innovate, to add more utility, and to add deep gameplay. So that things like Illuvium 0 maybe don't just stay as like a more kind of like shallow town builder. Maybe it does become something more. This is all dependent on community interest and our community our users pushing us to do more if that's what they want.
I've got one more question when it comes to Illuvium Zero, and then going a little bit into Illuvatars. But while I'm asking that question, if anyone watching right now has any further questions just about land sale, Illuvium Zero, that they feel we haven't touched upon, please feel free to comment them so that I can ask them. So the Illuvium Zero beta, what can people, like, when can people expect to actually get their hands on it? Like straight after the sale has happened, will people be able to play straight away? Is there going to be a bit of a wait? How long is that wait, if there is?
Little bit of a wait. It should be soon after, to my knowledge. So what we just did, I'm not sure if I was DMing with you about it, but what we just did is we redid all of the building assets and even like the ground textures for Illuvium Zero.
Yeah,
and
they look so good.
Completely upgraded all of them, right? And so we wanted, like, the original alpha gameplay we kind of shared out there, everything was kind of placeholder. So we needed the like AAA mobile game version of those assets. Those were just created and just finalized. So all of that needs to be implemented. And so post land sale, there's going to be some gap of time. And then yes, people should be able to get their hands on Illuvium Zero game and actually be able to play. So there shouldn't be too long of a gap of time, is what I'm trying to say. We don't have a hard date on when that's happening, but as soon as we do, we'll share it. Because everybody's going to want to take those NFTs that they hopefully connected IMX with, that's minted on their IMX wallet, and know what that experience is going to be like on within the Illuvium Zero game.
Awesome. And then let's jump a little bit into Illuvatars, but kind of somebody's just asked, if I buy land, is there a bigger chance to play closed beta? Just on that, like, no. Honestly, guys, everybody that is in the Illuvium Discord and is super active and is a ranger, which is super easy to get, you just need to be like level 5. They've received like a week or two ago like closed beta access. So closed beta access, they're constantly increasing the amount of people that are in it. Definitely be active in the Illuvium Discord. That will definitely help. But I'm guessing even potentially by the end of like June, we might see the closed beta potentially opening up to everyone. If not June, early July, I'm guessing. But I think that's pretty soon, right?
Kieran and I want to do it as soon as possible, basically.
Yeah.
So the reason why we're doing waves of rollouts on closed beta is we have to make sure that the feedback process is happening properly, that we have a scalable onboarding process where everybody we're bringing into the beta, that we implement all of the basic features in Auto Battler that need to be there. Like the first version of Auto Battler that came out was like missing entire features in Alluvials. All of that needs to be there. Yeah. So when we open up the floodgates on the over 1 million people that have registered to be a part of our main registration, and as far as just registering for the beta, it's hundreds of thousands of people just registered for that already, which is bananas. We stopped promoting it. As soon as we dropped that, we're like, oh God, how are we going to onboard all of those people? So the point is, we're scaling up the onboarding for beta, and we're putting all the features in place before we open up the floodgates. We don't want those hundreds of thousands, million plus people to be playing something that's missing entire features. That would be dumb. That would be a bad move for us to do that. And so I know it can be frustrating for folks that are like, why haven't I gotten access? We're systematically doing waves. It's mostly about the onboarding and the essential features. So once that is complete and we feel comfortable with the scaling of onboarding and the features that we've implemented being stable, at that point, you got your beta, bro. But those two things have to come together at the same time in order for that to occur. And we are not gonna pull some half-baked cake out of the oven and it's all looking nasty and hand it to people. That's not our approach at Illuvium. It's gonna be a baked cake and it's gonna be delicious.
I cannot wait for everyone to get their hands on it and to see how freaking awesome it is. But also because when everyone gets their hands on it, to my knowledge, we're also gonna have PvP. It's not just gonna be survival mode. I want to play against you, Andrew. I want to play against a few others and see what we can do. I think it's gonna be such a good time to play against your friends. Illuvatars.
Really quick, our community manager, Rich, aka Dick Kings, the best internet name ever. We just got 2,000 people in the other day in less than 24 hours. he has been swamped just on the onboarding and scaling part. Just to give you an idea, he has been swamped and the team's been swamped building the systems required to onboard people. That is honestly one of the things holding us back. And we're flying the airplane right now on this while we're building it at the same time. And so that's the realistic situation we have. It's not like we're just sitting around being like, let's just wait for the perfect moment for us to hit the green button and then we'll give you access. It's not, we're not in that situation right now.
He's been doing an awesome job. Yeah.
He has, yeah.
And Illuvatars, I'm guessing they're going to be somewhat soon after the land sale.
Man, I was talking with you offline. I asked Kieran, I'm like, hey, Kieran, because I'm the marketing guy, right? So I want to have as much time as my team can have, the marketing team can have, to prepare videos, ads, line up influencers, line up PR, do interviews, just make as much original content, infographics, emails, pipelines. Like, marketing teams love building insane infrastructure and insane monster campaigns to throw at the market, right? And so you want as much time as possible for that. So I asked Kieran, hey man, how much time do I have here? You know, I got a couple months, right? You know what I'm saying? You got your boy AWOL covered over here. He's like, no, man. No, you don't. So he's going to be pushing me and the team to get Illuvatars out like as fast as possible. So it looks like I'm not going to have a few months here. It's going to be a much shorter timeline is my understanding. So we're going to be coming from a marketing team standpoint. We're going to be coming off the back of the land sale, taking everything we did land sale marketing that worked, eliminating everything that didn't work about land sale marketing, and then building the Illuvatars version of that, and then doing more stuff on top. So it's going to be back to back as far as being able to roll out major products and doing major product marketing along with that. So that's the best answer I can give you. Hard date, obviously I don't have the hard date right now. Land sale's about to drop tomorrow. How bad would I be at marketing if I'm like, big announcement right before we do a land sale? Not a very smart idea, I would think. So let's do the land sale. Let's get through the land sale. Let's have it hopefully be a success. And then, just like I've been systematically rolling out the education, rolling out all of the different phases of what you have to do to sell stuff for land, we're going to be doing the same thing again for Illuvatars all over again. So trust me, bro, it'll be thorough, it'll be bigger and better than the marketing that we had for land, because we had to build from scratch all of the marketing infrastructure, the advertising, PR, video production, all that stuff for land, for the land sale. Now we have that built, and we can do an even better rollout for Illuvatars. And I wish I could tell you some of the things we already have planned for it and the partnerships we have lined up, but you will hear about it post land sale. So I don't want to muddy the waters right now with details on that, because we need to keep everyone focused on how exciting it is that the land sale is about to drop. Finally.
I mean, let's just tiny bit of muddying the waters, just tiny bit. Kieran's been tweeting. It's always Kieran's fault.
Kieran's
it's not
been
my fault.
tweeting. I'm always back here having to clean up his mess, what he's saying on Twitter.
Kieran's been tweeting, and he said that they pretty much got actually the first 3 entire batches of Illuvatars ready, and he's talking about what if we do them like each batch for just like 3 days, or just for like a week, and just like make them super limited edition. Like what are your thoughts on having them be that super limited edition? Because obviously Illuvatars were supposed to be available like technically for like a few months at a time, and anyone can buy as many as they want. You could still buy as many as you want, but shortening that time frame. What are your thoughts on that as the head of marketing?
I guess we'll do some live marketing strategy
obviously
here.
This is all like still subject to council approval, and we're just having a chat here.
Sure. So I've sold a lot of things in my day on the internet, and I've done a lot of merchandise campaigns as well. And the reason why I'm bringing up merchandise is I think Illuvatar's sale is a lot more similar to selling merch and doing like a merch drop than it is like land sale. I mean, 2 totally different things actually. So land is a product that costs starting price anywhere between 4,000 US dollars up to infinity dollars. That is a very limited customer base of crypto native DeFi head NFT heads that are willing to blow thousands of bucks on an investment in the metaverse, right? Illuvatars is totally different. I mean, there's going to be Illuvatars that can be secured potentially through these different waves, however we do it for Illuvatars, for like basically nothing, next to free, up to obviously higher prices for rarer Illuvatars and rarer potential drops. So the reason why I bring that up is it's akin to merchandise drops or clothing line drops, where you have lower price items that the average person can afford, that they're going to maybe do more of an impulse buy on, and they're going to buy because somebody next to them has one or is going to buy one, and it's cool and it's this sort of social thing. It's very akin to that. And so the most successful merchandise drops and clothing line drops and fashion line drops have a very, very strong scarcity component, where there's only a certain time frame you can buy them, where there's a certain number of them before they get sold out. And the market needs to feel like, if I don't buy this right now, it'll be gone forever, and I won't be able to be cool if I don't buy it. And so for that reason, I support the idea of doing shorter time frames for limited drops of things like Illuvatars, because it follows that human psychology, right? You make an impulse buy to buy that, I don't know, that $500 pair of Yeezys or whatever, because it's only on sale for right now. The website just crashed. You know, scalpers are going to buy it, and crap, now I don't get my Yeezys. The narrow time frame, the narrow window, and the possibility that you won't be able to get it is what sells it. So strictly from a sales and marketing perspective, I like the idea of limited drops in shorter time windows. And then if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And guess what? People that got in and got it, congratulations. You just got like essentially Gen 1 Pokemon when it was Pocket Monsters collectibles essentially for Illuvium. That's pretty awesome. So scarcity of time frame, scarcity, we're not going to do scarcity of supply in this case, because the idea with Illuvatars is that you can mint infinity of them. But I think scarcity of time frame and scarcity of inventory, the number of Illuvatars that are available, I like both of those ideas quite a bit. Now, I need to talk deeply with Kieran and the marketing team precisely about how we want to sell. But just generally speaking, what I'm saying right now to you in this interview, I'll be repeating verbatim in our team meeting, our marketing strategy meeting, on how we want to sell. And then once we determine what that is, guess where that is going? The council. And then you, the boss, you're going to have to decide on whether our plan makes sense to you. But in my experience, when you're selling lower dollar amount items like this, you don't want to just have them on sale forever. Like, I've done like merch drops with big influencers, and we tested having like an evergreen line where it's just on sale forever. And it has like t-shirts, mugs, phone cases, whatever. And then we tested doing limited drops just for the summer, just as an example. The evergreen line would sell like 2,000 units in a year, but the merch drop for the summer sold 25,000, and it was only on sale for a week. And so I've done this over and over and over and over again in digital sales, and scarcity wins. And it's not just FOMO, it's like scarcity, and it truly is fear of missing out on that time frame or that supply. So I'm going to take that classic sales mindset into a Illuvatar sale. And so everybody here needs to be paying close attention to all of our announcements and marketing around that, because if we do that, it's going to be potentially narrow time frames for Illuvatars. Anyway, all subject to change from the Almighty Council.
And if anyone hasn't obviously signed up to the Illuvium newsletter, it is available on their website, illuvium.io. All of the websites we've spoken about are linked in the description of this video. If you guys have enjoyed this video, definitely you should have already really just smashed that like button.
Smash that like button.
And subscribe to this channel. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, Andrew?
What I would like to add is what Kieran, not financial advice, but what Kieran has been saying in interviews. I'll echo what he's been saying. With the land sale, don't FOMO in. do your research. Don't FOMO in. The prices were designed to be at least at this point slightly too high was the idea. That was the intention the council had in setting these higher prices. And so FOMOing in and just buying at max price. The land auction is literally designed to discourage you from buying at max price and FOMOing in. We're trying to stop people from FOMOing in. Maybe we'll be successful or not. We can't control people, but that's the parting thought here. Do your research. Get prepared for the land sale by making sure your MetaMask has either your ETH, your SILV2, or both. Have enough ETH in your wallet to be able to pay that disgusting ETH gas fee, and connect up to IMX to make sure that whenever you do secure that dream piece of metaverse land in whatever region you choose, you'll be ready for it to be minted in your IMX wallet. And don't wait till later to be confused and having to figure it out and having anxiety about whether your NFT is going to be in the right place. Those are my parting thoughts. We tried to design, and hopefully it plays out, we tried to design this land sale so that the regular, everyday, average community member has the greatest opportunity possible to get a piece of the action without getting crushed by whales and without having to participate in some stupid gas war. So hopefully that's what plays out. And I wish you guys all the best. And I can't wait to see what people post on Discord and Twitter and stuff about the land that they buy and why they bought it. And I don't know. I'm gonna post about my teeny little tier ones. I'm gonna grab up, maybe tell little stories about what I'm gonna do on them. And I'm just so excited about this. And I'm so excited about the revenue distribution opportunity afterwards to show everyone that that's real and to just kind of give everybody a taste of what that opportunity could be like long term. This is just one sale. Imagine when we have multiple video games going simultaneously with thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of transactions per day potentially.
Movies.
Everybody keeps talking about the Netflix show or whatever. So, all that stuff. That, for me, this is just like a taste of what that concept could be like in the future. And I love seeing it in action. And so that's what I'm really excited about.
I think the key takeaway from this conversation is definitely do not FOMO in. This is a 3-day sale, guys. If you don't buy a piece of land in the first few hours, there's 3 days to don't rush into it. Sit back, enjoy the ride, and buy when it feels right, and not when you feel stressed to do so. See it play out. Definitely head over to the Illuvium YouTube channel. Get that IMX linked up. And another question that has been asked is, when are they planning to sell? Because there's obviously 100,000 plots of land and only 20,000 in this current sale. My personal opinion is just that the other 80K should wait until after the main game has come out, and then see how the rev dis is going and the fuel earnings and all of that, and have those sales happen over potentially the next 2 years.
Yeah, so my personal opinion as well is that it should that the remainder of the 80,000 plots of land that are not being sold in Land Sale 1, in my personal opinion, I think they should be sold after the main game launch as well. I agree with you personally, but that'll be a decision for the council to make in terms of when that should drop. But personally, I like us waiting, selling the other 80K land, so that this initial batch of land for people in this bear market who've been sticking with Illuvium all this time, still wanted that piece of land and crystal shards and got it, you get even more value out of it. Having the only land that's been sold before the main game launched. I like that idea. I think that it adds more value, and I think that it rewards the early adopters, to use a buzzword there, on land. And that would be what I would personally vote for if I was a member of the council. And Dick Kings is saying, win merch, ask him.
I was about to, but he was bullying me.
So right now we're in conversations with multiple household names right now in terms of companies and organizations, in terms of merchandise. And that's all I'll say.
Are we getting them?
We don't want to roll out a half-baked merchandise strategy. And Kieran and I have talked about this. And I think before we roll anything out, we do need to onboard a proper director of merchandise to run that strategy. I have experience doing merchandise strategies, but like I only play one on TV. And so I don't think it's fair to everyone that's looking for RevDis and is looking for high quality merchandise globally to rely on my expertise to roll that out. If I'm the leading expert in the DAO right now on it, we need somebody that knows way more than me about it. And so what we're doing right now is we're exploring opportunities with multiple vendors. And Kieran and I have talked about onboarding that person to lead the merchandise efforts across the board. And then once those two things converge, what I personally want with our merchandise strategy is I want like a premium only merchandise strategy. So I'm talking about like collector's edition level stuff only. That's my personal preference. And so that would be like an amazing statue that's very premium. That would be insert other type of merchandise that's highly custom and highly valuable. And then my personal preference would be to have every piece of physical merchandise that we sell have like a scannable QR code or something like that, that you can get an NFT minted to accompany it as your digital collectible. And so as you can imagine, the reason why it would take us some time to do that is A, we have to have the manufacturing in place. B, we need to have the global distribution and shipping network in place. C, we need to have the co-marketing and marketing partners that know how to push physical merchandise in place. And D, we need to have the physical to digital NFT infrastructure in place. So it's not just, yo, I know a guy who can make some t-shirts, why don't you sell them? We could sell some t-shirts like in like 5 minutes. We're doing the A, B, C, and D here. That's a scalable global merchandise premium strategy. That's what we're going after here, so please be patient. To build this takes a lot of time and effort and a lot of expertise. To sell t-shirts, it'd be like whatever. So I'm looking to do something on a whole nother level. Illuvium is a premium brand that deserves premium merchandise that isn't just a physical item, it's also a premium digital item too. That's my personal vision for it. And that's it. And I see another question in chat of why everyone wants Crystal Shores. I'm buying in Crystal Shores. So y'all can come on in with me. Just stay away from my tier 1 land in Crystal Shores. Why? Because I like the concept art there. And that's the reason why. That's the only reason why. So anyway, back to you.
I just realized I hadn't asked. I checked out on the Illuvidex and there's some plots of land that are kind of just sitting there by themselves. They're all alone and they're surrounded by nothing. But actually, in the future 80,000 land plots that are going to be sold, they're potentially going to be surrounded. Well, they'll definitely be surrounded by other plots at that point. Is that correct? And potentially maybe they could be part of, like, it's a tier 1, but maybe it's surrounded by these way higher tier lands and some whale just really wants to buy that one off you. Is that a thing? Am I making this up?
I'm sorry. I have to say we're not commenting on that at this time to that one. Sorry.
Okay. I like that. That's good.
I don't want to say a single thing about that because I don't want to mislead anyone and I don't want to make any promises. So I'm going to say I'm not commenting on that at this time.
Cool. And just with the merch, so obviously, like, we need to set up all these distribution networks and things. But obviously, if we potentially did a collab with someone that already has a distribution network, like, I want to maybe see some like Atlas Nike shoes. Like, is that a thing? They don't even have to have an NFT. Is that potential collabs that could happen? I'm totally fishing.
I'm not stupid. I mean, if a major legitimate merchandise brand like Nike is wanting to make an Atlas shoe or whatever, then of course we'll consider that. And we're not gonna just force in our own strategy and say to heck with any strategic partnerships. So I'm all about strategic partnerships, and some of the things that we're already exploring are strategic partnerships. So it's not either we do our own in-house strategy or we partner with people. I see the strategy being a little bit of both. And so the answer is yes, of course. We would consider something like that.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, seriously, like, I mean, if a major AAA shoe brand or something want to do something, we would definitely consider it. You know, but at the end of the day, we want to try to have the partnership tie into our actual universe somehow.
Yeah.
In a real way. Like, I've got a friend of mine, my former boss, that runs probably like the biggest shoe NFT project out there, I would say. And I talked to him about it, and I'm like, yeah, but what are we going to do with these shoe NFTs? What are we going to do? Put them on like Arlen or something? Like, I'm just thinking like what actually happens. So that's what I want everybody to think about, right? Like, I want this merchandise and I want an NFT to go with it or whatever. Yeah, but what are we actually going to do with that NFT in the Illuvium universe? Is there an opportunity to put shoes on alluvials or something? Or is that dumb? So anyway, these are the sorts of things we're considering. And I would prefer to have any merchandise or physical items we sell have some sort of real tie-in with the lore and with the Illuvium universe in some meaningful way. So it's not just a piece of merchandise just to be a piece of merchandise. That would be my personal preference. But, you know, look, if Nike comes calling and they're like, hey, we want to put your shoe on LeBron or who, I don't know who LeBron's sponsored by. I don't watch sports. But let's say something crazy happens, then I'll be like, absolutely, where do I sign? So, I'm not, you know, we're not going to say no to some huge marketing opportunity, of course.
And just before we finish this conversation, if you could have any piece of merch right now, what would it be? Like, in your hands, in your house?
Any piece of merchandise, like Illuvium merchandise? So, I think it would be a seer, like premium 3D printed, like metal collectible statue. And I would want to have like some sort of like QR code scannable NFT to go along with it. And I would want the statue to be painted, seer, doing like a slash move, like a savage slash move. I'd want that. And I'd put it right there. How about you?
I'm a bit more cute, so I want an Atlas plushie, just because I just want that on my sofa. I want to see that every day when I walk into my living room. I would like a nice statue as well, though, of something, and maybe put a shelf back there. That'll be dope as well, 100%.
Well, as you can imagine, you may have the opportunity as a member of our community to get some of that merchandise. So anyway, I know everybody's excited about that, but right now we are focused on building games and those like digital experiences, but we're not sleeping on merchandise. So people like, when plushies? It's like, please shut up. Like, I know you want the plushies. I'm trying to make, like, we could allocate time to getting plushies out, but then what? You know, like, what's the next step? Right? So for me, I'm thinking like, we want to build some infrastructure for merchandise before we sell plushies. Okay, guys?
It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, bro. Thank you very much.
Always love talking to you. Thank you. And thank you to, thank you. I just want to thank you for all the support you give Illuvium. Seriously. Like, you're like dedicating your life to this. I really appreciate it, man. I do. Adios, guys. I'll see you all in the land sale. And don't take my plot of land in Crystal Shores.
Which one is it? Which one is it? Guys, look for it. Look for it.
I've hearted it. Leave me alone.